You probably don't think about it when you do it. The small flick of your thumb, the quiet refresh of a feed, the familiar glow that lights up your face in a dark room. It's automatic now. So automatic you barely notice it's happening. But what if I told you that this simple, repeated movement is teaching your brain something? That every scroll is a tiny signal, a cue, a message that slowly shapes how your mind reacts, what it expects, and even how it feels. Not metaphorically, not poetically, but physically, in the wiring of your brain. In 2025, a growing number of psychologists and neuroscientists have begun to describe social media as a behavioral environment the human brain was never prepared for. A place designed to overstimulate systems that evolved over millions of years and compress them into milliseconds. This video explores exactly what that means, why younger generations, especially Gen Z, are uniquely vulnerable, and how you can step out of the loop without needing to quit social media altogether. Let's begin with something simple. Your brain is always learning, whether you want it to or not. Every habit, every emotion, every repeated action sends signals that strengthen some neural pathways and weaken others. Social media is built on repetition. Micro actions done hundreds of times a day, and repetition rewires the brain. 1. The brain's old operating system in a new world. For most of human history, information came slowly. You might hear a story from a neighbor, a piece of news from a friend, a rumor carried from a nearby village. Your nervous system evolved to handle long stretches of calm, interrupted by rare moments of intensity. Now compare that to your daily feed. Hundreds of emotional spikes delivered in minutes. A joke, a tragedy, a beautiful face, a political fight, a shocking headline, a stranger's opinion, a friend's achievement, a celebrity scandal. Your brain doesn't get time to settle, to digest, to regulate. It's constantly shifting gears, constantly absorbing, constantly bracing for the next hit. This isn't bad because the content is negative. It's challenging because the pace is unnatural. Your emotional system wasn't designed to move from pleasure to anger to jealousy to amusement in 3 seconds. The result? A mind that feels busy even when nothing is happening. A nervous system that feels alert even when nothing is threatening. And attention that feels scattered even when you aren't overwhelmed. This is not weakness. This is biology trying to adapt to a world that moves too fast. 2. The dopamine rhythm. Shift people often oversimplify dopamine. They call it the pleasure chemical. But dopamine is really about anticipation, the sense that something rewarding might be coming. Social media is a perfect anticipation machine. Every swipe says, maybe the next post will be good. Maybe I'll see something surprising. Maybe someone interacted with me. Your brain loves maybe. It loves unpredictability. It loves novelty. And because dopamine works on expectation rather than satisfaction, you don't need to enjoy scrolling to get hooked. You just need to believe something rewarding might appear soon. Over time, this does 2 things. 1. It raises your baseline stimulation level. Quiet moments start to feel empty. Boredom becomes uncomfortable. Your brain expects constant input. 2. It weakens reward systems for slow satisfaction. Reading becomes harder. Working deeply becomes harder. Even having long, uninterrupted conversations becomes harder. Not because you're lazy, but because your dopamine rhythm has been retrained by speed. 3. The identity problem for Gen Z. Older generations experience the internet as an addition to life. Gen Z experienced it as the environment of life. And that difference matters. During adolescence, the brain is intensely sensitive to feedback. Approval, rejection, comparison, attention. This is the period when identity forms, and self-esteem becomes more stable or more fragile. Now imagine that process happening not in small social groups or classrooms, but in front of invisible crowds of thousands. Imagine forming your sense of self while being constantly exposed to impossible beauty standards, highlight reels of other people's success, metrics that measure your worth in numbers, silence that feels like rejection, comparison that never ends. The adolescent brain wasn't built for this. No generation before Gen Z had to negotiate identity under these conditions. For many young people, the line between who they are and who they appear to be grows blurry. And when appearance becomes performance, self-worth becomes unstable. You begin to depend on external signals for internal feelings, likes for validation, comments for confidence, engagement for belonging. And when these signals stop, even for a day, your emotional baseline drops. 4. The emotional weight of constant performance. Even if you aren't a creator, social media turns you into a performer. Choosing what to post, choosing what to hide, choosing how to appear, choosing how much of yourself is acceptable. Every action becomes a micro-performance, and performances require energy. Over weeks and months, this leads to what psychologists call micro-performance fatigue, a slow, subtle drain on emotional resilience. You start feeling tired without being physically tired. You feel socially exhausted without seeing anyone. You feel anxious without knowing why. Your brain has been on stage for too long. 5. The silent cost of nighttime. Scrolling nighttime is when your brain processes emotions. It's when your nervous system resets. It's when your mind prepares for tomorrow. But for millions of people, nighttime is when the deepest doom scrolling kicks in. The headlines, the arguments, the perfect lives, the global crises, the subtle envy, the subtle insecurity. Your brain absorbs all of this right before dreaming. And because late-night scrolling disrupts emotional regulation and sleep cycles, you wake up feeling unmotivated, foggy, irritable, overwhelmed, anxious. It feels like a bad day, but it's really a biological chain reaction from the night before. 6. So, what can you actually do? Here's the important part. You don't need to quit the internet. You don't need dramatic detoxes. You don't need to disappear from social media. Your brain just needs intentional boundaries instead of constant exposure. 1. Create tech-free moments. Not full days, just moments. Meals, conversations. The first 15 minutes of the morning. 2. Protect the hour before sleep. This alone can transform mood and attention. 3. Add slow dopamine activities. Reading, nature, cooking, long walks, conversations without a screen. These rebuild your emotional stability. 4. Reflect on how you feel after scrolling. Awareness breaks automatic behavior. 5. Separate your identity from your metrics. Your brain treats numbers as value, but numbers measure engagement, not worth. Small steps, big impact. 7. The final thought. We are the first generation learning how the mind behaves online. We don't know all the long-term effects, but we do know this. The brain adapts to what it repeats, and right now, billions of people repeat the same cycle every day. Scroll, refresh, compare, anticipate, repeat. So the real question is not, is social media changing your brain? The real question is, how is it changing you, and are you choosing it? If you want more psychology insights that help you understand your own mind, not with hype, not with cliches, but with clarity, subscribe. Your mind is worth knowing.